Hey, welcome back, Push Rodders. So this video, we're going to be doing some intake testing. Namely, let's see if we can find the flow restrictions in our airbox and ducting and all the rest of it up to our throttle body using a vacuum gauge. Fingers crossed it works. If not, we'll have to pull the whole lot out. It's going on the flow bench. Well, Push Rodders, it sort of worked and it didn't, as you probably would have seen with the gauge readings. So we tested here, there at the airbox, here on the inlet pipe, just after the airflow meter, and here, just before the throttle body. Where we got the most reading was, of course, manifold vacuum at the throttle body there, although you may have noticed the needle just moving a little bit when we tested here. So it's showing me there's a little bit of restriction, whether it's the airflow meter, the airbox, or the inlet ducting, or all of the above. So I guess it's to really quantify our results. All of this is going to have to come off, and we'll put it on the flow bench. We've got our resonator box, which goes onto our throttle body. Bit of hose, airflow meter, airbox. It's the lid. Flat panel filter, of course, bottom part, and then the intake part. And a plastic clip. Let's get this assembly back together and we'll make up a fixture so it can go onto the where the throttle body goes. And I think we've already found one little issue, which is this little rubber adapter, coupler, whatever it is. I dare say that's been letting air pass these little gaps here and given a false reading for the airflow meter. So we could have been either running rich or lean. It's always good to pick up a little issue and fix it while we're doing what we're doing. Our little fixture, it's just a bit of Perspex, nothing special there for the vacuum cleaner. We've capped off our two little ports in the hose, and we've got our other end of our manometer. Just going to put in the front there. Let's see if we can get some readings. Our next obstacle is our little vacuum cleaner is not flowing enough air. Even though it's a steady state or just a constant flow, it's still not enough to even get a reading on the little manometer there. So if it does read, it's very minute. So I'm going to have to make up another fixture, and we'll go with that bad boy there, which is an air blower for a kid's jumping castle. But one thing I can say is, just by touch, you can feel where the air's flowing. So pretty much where my finger is, it's sort of going up and around. If you go on the side, on the corner here or here, even putting my hand up along this area here, it's all pretty much dead. There's not very much going on at all. So it's pretty much just the center sort of up and to the top there. So we've removed our resonator box off our inlet tract system, whatever you want to call it. We have gotten rid of roughly around about 2/3 of an inch depression of water of restriction. So the other little bit is I can't put that in the overall system because I don't really have any adapters and all that sort of stuff, the right size bits of piping and stuff. So we're just going to work on this lot at the moment. I don't think that's going to be overly too much of a restriction. 3.5 inch down to 3 inch. So, but good gains have already been had. Well, the next thing we're going to work on is the inlet snorkel. Now, most of the flow is about here, where we're measuring it from. Very little's happening here, and sort of right on the very corner there. So we're going to try and work a little bit on this, but also too, the little lip there. I reckon we might be able to pick up a little bit if we modify this lip, cut it back, and we'll see how we go. We might even try and start to streamline some of these ribs, sort of from about where my finger is, to sort of about where my finger is here at the top, sort of on an angle, going up to the airflow meter. We'll see how that goes. We've cut the top back a little bit. We've trimmed up the top here, so it's sort of not, there's no overhang, so sort of get a bit more straight shot up into the airflow meter. Now, with all that said and done, and the screen out of the airflow meter, which is this little guy here, straightens out the air a little bit, we're seeing about 8.25 inches of depression. So we've pretty much lost around about 2/3, 3/4 of an inch of depression or restriction. We're getting there slowly, although I think the bottleneck's going to be the airflow meter. But we'll modify the box a little bit as best we can, or clean it up. As you can see, push rodders, grinding plastic is messy as. I know. Yeah. Anyway, back to it. Well, we finished up all our grinding and all that sort of good stuff. Made a mess everywhere. Sort of wanted to save this to see how much it weighed. I know it's not going to weigh overly too much, but these are a few of the bits and pieces that got cut from the opening of the snorkel here, just to enlarge the hole, because it was sort of, it was all angled down. Now, we did break through right there, but that's no big deal. Got some foam on it. Another piece, this bit, that was coming into the airbox, so chop that out and sort of make it a little bit better of a entry, I guess you could say. Now, instead of going full tilt and getting rid of all of the ribs in here, I've only just done it where the air it likes to flow. So there, and on the back wall here, same deal on the lid. And the airflow meter. Now at the bottom part there's a nice big chunk of plastic, similar to what's at the top there. We've chopped that out. Now, where is it? There it is. So you can see how thick that was. Sort of streamlined a little bit, just smoothed it out. Now I did go a little bit too far, and I've had to use just a small, you probably can't see it, a small amount of epoxy in there just to break through. So fingers crossed we won't have any issues with the airflow meter. But let's get all this back together for one last flow test, chuck it in the car, and we'll go for a cruise and we'll see what happens. Well, it looks like the air is a touch more turbulent without the air filter, which is not surprising because this straightens out the air and all the rest of it. So, but look, I reckon we've got a good half an inch of water, less restriction. So let's go put this in the car and see how it goes. Well, pushrodders, how did we go? Well, we managed to get rid of approximately 400 grams of weight off the front of the car. Looks like we've picked up more mid-range torque, which is always good. Starting off around about 2,500 RPM all the way through to redline, which for us is around about 6.5, 6.8. Definitely got some more induction noise happening. So where to from here? Well, I think we might try and get the adjustable fuel pressure reg on and get that adjusted up. Then we might take it down to Mexico for a few test hits and to quantify our results. I dare say we're definitely going to have to be playing with tyre pressures because I reckon there's going to be a bit of wheel spin off the hit, but that's all for another video. Anyway, what are you waiting for? Go and get your hands dirty. We'll see you next video.